Welcome back to 1.2 Brain Cells Podcast. Hola, hola. I'm
Hey,
Nati.
Noel.
Anna.
Yes, hello, hello. Welcome to this week's episode. We are well into the 2026 year, the first month of 2026. How are my brain cells doing? Oh,
When you say brain
oh,
cells, you mean us or the audience?
I mean, y'all, but baby, are you okay?
I just knocked the shit out of my knee.
Why did you smack the shit out of your knee?
I was just readjusting, and then I just smacked my knee into my desk. Carry on,
Damn.
carry on.
Damn. I got a bruise that I don't know where it came from on my
Mm.
knee. And I found it yesterday. And my mom's like, how did that happen? And I'm like, I don't know if it was from my Friday activities that Von is well aware of, or if it was from
Meow,
my
chicken,
Saturday
meow,
dancing.
meow.
No, don't do that. Don't why you no. Um what's it called? But nonetheless, I don't know where my bruise came from. But at least we'll know where your bruise came from.
Yes.
Well, speaking of fucked up knees, I fucked up my
Oh,
knee.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Tell us about that.
Um, Apparently I'm an old lady. Uh,
we knew that though.
one must
Yeah.
stretch before playing pickleball now, which I was unaware of. So 30 seconds into me playing pickleball, I turned to the right and I unlocked a new motion in my knee. And when I did so, in order to unlock this new motion, you have to crack your knee. So I turned to the right, you just heard a loud crack, and then I like crumbled to the ground. I didn't hit the floor. Like I caught myself and got back up. But that bitch was instantly sore, and I was like, oh,
Oh
that's no
no.
good. But I could move it in ways I could not move it before.
Oh no.
And then I was like, it's fine. It feels a little sore, a little tense, but we'll just play through it. So we played through it.
No
That was a
no.
terrible idea because by the time I
Yeah.
got back to my car and like the 15-minute drive home, when I got out of my car, y'all, like I barely could like straighten my knee, let alone bend it. It was
Oh.
bad. And then the next morning, it was even worse. I was
Okay.
just limping.
Question for you, Noel. Um, do you use the seat warmer when you're in your car?
Yeah.
Okay, I would highly recommend when you are coming out of any pickable activities, even if you don't feel like it's cold enough, trust me, you should keep your body warm because the minute that the cold sets into your body, especially you are no longer, like I said, a baby chicken, baby.
A
You
spring
need to
chicken.
you no, you're a spring chicken because Van and I, you know what? I think you've entered your summer chicken era. Right, baby? That's what we determined that those ages are
She's
summer
with
chicken
us?
era.
Yes.
She's with us. Yeah, she's with us.
Then just summer.
Yeah. I would like to safely say we are at the end of our summer chicken era. I think once we hit 33,
Ah,
we are a
yeah.
full on chicken. Or no.
Okay.
Or are we full
Hmm.
chickens at 30?
No, hold on. Because we still have fall and then winter, and then we complete
Exactly.
chicken. So
No,
we're at the end
no,
of summer.
isn't no. I thought the whole point is so spring chicken
When
is
is the
baby
chick
chicken
right? When is a chick a chicken?
in the fall.
It takes less than a year for it to be fully developed.
Yeah, bitch is a chicken.
Well,
Money was
well,
unaware. She thought she had more time.
yeah.
Yeah, because I thought winter chicken, well, it's winter, so you gonna get
No, a
cooked.
winter chicken is a roasted chicken. And fue la casa de
Exactly.
feliz.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Chicken
Is
noodle.
yeah, su vejez.
Baby, we not trying to be cooked here. Oh my god.
That's what I'm
Ah,
saying. I think I can safely say because at the same time, after 33, we can't be sitting here trying to be like we're still summer chicken. No, tampoco.
no, no,
We have to
tampoco.
age
I
with
would.
grace, you know?
For sure. I'm with that.
So we're in the cusp of the end of our summer chicken era.
I guess.
So then Noel, you are a spring chicken now. That's what I say. You're not no baby chick no more.
Hmm. I'm a
But
spring chicken. Okay, okay. Because
yeah,
it took like 3 days, but it sprung back. It's fine now.
okay. Definitely if any issues come up, cold press, hot press, put some biofreeze. Biofreeze is gonna be your best friend.
I put no. What did I put on it? Icy hot, and I had a banana.
Good. I see how.
Bananas.
And even if let's say today you would have gotten the soreness, and then the next day you feel fine, still put on some icy hot. Don't listen. Even if you feel kind of fine, at least a day after, continue doing it because it's gonna help. It's gonna help.
Yeah. So lesson learned. One will stretch before they start to play. Um, but yeah, I always have my seat warmers on. Like I warm up my car before I get into it.
Yeah, I still remember one of the first times that you took me in your car, like your new one,
Mhm.
that in order to show me that you had seat coolers, you turned that shit on high, and I sat down. I think we were in the fall, or were we in the summer at that point?
It was fall, I think.
Yeah, but it wasn't definitely heat seater time, but that shit got hot. And I was like, Noelita, like I'm a little warm, and she's like, word, and then she put the coolers on, and I was like, yeah, Noelita be a funny one.
Yeah, the cooling seats is probably one of the coolest things in my car. I
Yeah,
haven't
I
seen that
had never
before.
seen that. Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Cooler warmers have been out for a while now, but cooler coolers, nah.
I
Yeah.
do not
That's
like the coolers.
That's that way you don't get swamp ass.
Yeah.
I don't normally get swamp ass anyways, so I'm fine without
Not
it.
yet.
No. Next time she's in your car, Noel, you gotta hit her with the cooler.
I mean, I could turn it off on my end. I do not like it.
Can she turn it off on her end?
Yeah, I mean the button's right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'll turn
Nice,
it because
nice.
Natalie has it on too, and I was like, turn that shit on.
Okay, so Noelita, was your weekly catch up that you done fucked up your knee almost?
Yeah.
Nice. How about you, Vane?
My knee is still good. Thankfully. Nah, lately I've because of the show that came out, Heated Rivalry. I've just been reading
Rivalry.
the series.
Mhm.
I got up to. I mean, I've been updating you guys. Did I say I'm on the third book or the fourth book?
You said you finished.
Yeah, you told us you finished.
Not the
Because then you
series.
got mad when you went to go watch it. Yeah.
What?
You said you went to go watch the show and you know.
Oh, right. No, but I didn't. I read the Heated Rivalry book, so I was gonna like, okay, since I read the book, I can watch the series now. But
Oh.
then yeah, I saw the trailer and I was like, you know what? Maybe not. But I didn't read the whole series. I'm either on book 3 or book 4. I can't remember which one. I plan to finish. It's just the current book I'm on. I'm on 4. I am on 4. Yeah, I'm on 4. 4 is boring the
I
hell
do,
out of me.
I do have to say something about Heated Rivalry. Like I was hating on it in the beginning. I think I did a rant on one of the episodes and our intros about it, like it being about like gay
Mm.
men, like
No,
how
you did it in the chat with us.
okay, so when I first watched the show, like obviously like it was a queer show, so like I had seen it and I was like I watched the first episode, first of all. I thought it was gonna be like the Netflix special Heartstopper. I thought it was gonna be all cutesy.
Oh yeah, you mentioned
But this
it.
show is on HBO Max. I should have known better. I should have known better. Because 3 minutes into the episode, it's just hardcore gay fucking for the next 3 episodes. But
Baby,
I'm like,
is it as porny as what's it called, Bridgerton beginning sometimes? Because you know how Bridgerton,
Oh,
I was
worse. No, baby, Bridgerton is
worse.
clean. Bridgerton is clean.
What? Bridgerton be censored
Baby,
compared to them?
yeah, because in Bridgerton,
I mean, you don't ever
see,
see any
I thought, yes, you don't, yeah, you don't see
parental
the whole
nudity.
peen. There's no peening, no
Nudity.
fees, but you don't see the full, but on Bridgerton, it just does like a lot of the close-ups and the intimate starings and like maybe a
Right.
hand roaming. Okay,
No,
that's
but
what I,
Bridgerton don't be like that. I've seen scenes where we see
yeah,
her
I
pure
mean, you see
culo.
some of it, but like, yes and no.
No,
Bridgerton's
you also have
clean.
to remember, like they're rivals, so they're like heat fucking each other too. So it's not no sweet tenderness
No,
kind
I'm
of
not
thing over
saying
here.
that it's gonna be sweet tender because there's also scenes in Bridgerton that are not sweet and tender. But
No, for sure. No,
Wait,
Bridgerton
we're
is.
getting beyond my
I
point
mean,
that I was trying to make.
sorry.
So let's roll it back and then we can go to this. I was
okay.
hating on it. Because there's so many like actual true lesbian stories of like people of athletes being in who have come out in their sport. So I was like, oh, this is so stupid. They should have done this. Like, there's so many stories told. Saw a TikTok by Coach Jackie, who was like essentially saying the same thing that she was hating on it. And the realization was that there is literally no openly gay men in sports, in professional sports. Like, you can't really name a single one.
Really?
Now, think of one. Name one.
Baby, I don't know sports, period. So that's
Oh, well, that's
not.
fair. That's fair. But no, there isn't. There isn't. And if there is, it's a rarity. Like, it's a super rarity. And by just statistically, there should be more of them, but they're not out. But since the show coming out, there have been like TikTok really be pulling at the heartstrings, because like there's like young kids who are like in high school and college, like posting like, this show would have made a difference to this kid, and it's like,
I saw you sent one of them, and I'm like,
bro, it was really pulling at the heartstrings. I was like,
yeah,
we needed this. I'm not gonna lie, like the impact that it's done for people, like representation really does matter. And it's just so crazy.
Yeah,
it had me tear me up.
Yeah, that's when you first brought it up. And we were like, oh, you wish it was like more sapphic, and I'm like, well, yes, I understand. At the end of the day, a win is a win. As long as there's like queer media, I'm happy.
No, right, yeah, and that was my take at the end of it. I'm like, once I saw that TikTok and she's like, there is nothing that portrays gay men like this in sports specifically. I'm like, damn, she's right. And then it's like, queer media is queer media, whatever is, a win is a win.
Yeah. And as long as it's also like, while yes, it's represented, but to be represented accurately, and I feel like from my understanding, it is showing it pretty accurately as to like how the fields are and all that. So that's good. Yeah, I've heard many things from heated rivalry. For a while, it was popping up on my TikTok, and then once you guys started chatting about it, is that I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, I'm seeing the connection everywhere. So
what's funny is I saw the books way before it was a movie, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna read that, because I mentioned to y'all before. I'm like, I don't like reading closeted stories. It just gets me so sad.
And is the book giving sad closeted stories?
Very much so. But I'm like, it's still so good. Up until this fourth book, I was like, what the fuck happened in this fourth book?
Bro, I like the first 3 episodes. Really, it's just like, it's a lot of time jumps and then just walking. But like by the 4th, 5th episode, you start to see a side story that really is super cute. There's another like gay hockey player in the series. And his love story is really, really cute, actually.
Oh,
Skips?
I was gonna say,
yeah.
I was gonna say, this is giving a little the story you recommended to me, Vane, recently. That in the beginning it's mostly just sexual things, and then later on it gets a little on the cuter side. The Alex one?
Yes.
Yeah. It's very much giving that, because like, I'm not gonna lie and call me a cochina, but like once I started getting to the cute shit, I was like, wait, hold on, pause. I was like, I understand that this is supposed to be cute, but that is not the goal of why I was recommended this book. Therefore, I'm not gonna lie to you, I have not picked it up since. I was like, wait, I understand they're gonna get together, cool, that's nice, but yeah,
funny. But yeah, so that was my update. Reading the well, I think the series is called the Game Challengers or something, whatever. But read books.
I don't even know. I didn't read the books. I just watched the show.
Yeah. I'm on 4. There's 5, and I think there's gonna be a 6 coming out. Don't quote me on that one. And
like a 6th book?
4. Yeah, I think.
Interesting. Well, hopefully. And how are the books long?
No, I'm getting through all of them within 1 or 2 days. They're all not that long at all.
Okay, that's good though. Hopefully the 4th book picked up for you.
I mean, I doubt it. I just need to get through that one. But anyways, what about you, baby? How's your week been?
It's been good. She's doing too much. I've been nonstop with like performances, and then I had mentioned that I think I had mentioned to you guys that I was starting a new dance class. And it's now, so the dance class is 3 times a week for an hour and a half each day. And then outside of that, I also go social dancing. And then outside of that, because debut is coming up, that means that our practices have increased from the normal like 2 hours to like 3 hours, 3 hours and a half. For example, this upcoming Sunday will be 4 because we also have a performance. So that means we have to do an extra hour. It's a lot. I think this is the most I've ever been dancing in a long time. Even from when I first started, I used to take many classes. I love it. Do I love it? Yes. I'm living the dream. Am I exhausted? Yes. My 29-year-old ass is feeling the repercussions that it means to be dancing like that. But
Do you need the icy hot?
I'm a biofreeze girl. I have not had to put on the biofreeze yet. So, we're Gucci.
Preventative,
That's what I was thinking. But then at the same time, I haven't had like, my tiredness is an overall body thing. It's not like a specific part of my body. Because usually I use the biofreeze when it's like a specific part hurts. I'll tell you one thing. I expected with the amount of dancing that I'm doing for my ankle to start hurting. And I can't think of the last time that my ankle has hurt. So I'm like, hey, progress. Yeah. But yeah, that's mostly been me. What else? Work is a working. Oh yeah, so I had told you guys that I had gotten the offer, right? And so that I officially started like I went from temp to perm in this time being. So this past week was the first week as permanent. And when I'm telling you that anything and everything that could have gone wrong with the computer was going wrong because they were transitioning my account, but they did not do it correctly. But what sucks is that this week and next week, this last week that passed and this week that is starting, my manager that we work on something together most of the time is out. And therefore, I was supposed to be covering for her, right? And however, I have very limited access. So when I'm telling you, it's been so stressful. I've been like, oh my God, it's technically my first week officially. And they're going to be like, why the hell did we hire this bitch? Because she don't know what the fuck she's doing. But granted,
that's not your fault. That's how you
No, I know. And they're aware. And I've been communicating with our head, like our director, so my boss's boss. I've been telling her exactly and play by play as to what is going on with my computer. So she's been aware. If anything, she feels bad. She's like, I'm so sorry. There's been so much delays. And in my head, I'm like, bitch, don't say sorry to me. I feel bad for the vendors. They ain't gonna get paid, but okay. Like, but no, it's really happy. Like, I'm really excited. I do love my job so much. Like, this is the first time in years, when I'm telling years, that I've been off on Martin Luther King Day. Because all my other companies were racist, and therefore we never had Martin Luther King off. We only had like the basic 6 holidays, yeah. So it's been good. It's been good. I can't complain. A lot of birthday celebrations. Oh my God. You would think that I was the fucking Queen of England with the amount of birthday celebrations that I be having, because I had the day of my birthday. Then I had the next day something dance related. Then this past weekend I had another thing that was dance related. Then this upcoming weekend, because originally the 10th, which is the day after, it was supposed to be a different thing, but it had to get moved because the venue that we were going to do it at ended up canceling. That my friends are planning it. So we moved it to this upcoming weekend. But at this point, I'm like, as much as I like to be celebrated, I'm fucking tired. There's so many times that I can, whatever. But it's fun because I bitch about it. Like, I don't bitch about it, but like I low-key complain. But then at the same time, in the moment that is happening, I love it. Like on Saturday that we perform, I think it's one of the best performances we've had. We finish, and as we're getting up to like, leave the quote unquote stage, the guy that runs the event, he's actually the first instructor that I ever had. So the guy that introduced me to the whole dance community. Yeah, no, I love him. He's great. Shout out to NJ Salsa, Steve Santos. And so anyway, he was like, oh, hold on, Natalie. And then he grabbed me. He was like, oh, and just letting you know, it's Natalie's birthday, so we're celebrating her. And then like everyone cheered, and I was like, it was cool. It was awesome. My little performer ass loves the attention. So yeah. it's been good. Overall, good vibes. Can't complain. Tired, yes, but I would much rather be tired with all the little joys that I've been having. But yeah. Cool beans. So that being said, with our little weekly catch up, let's get into the topic for today, which is neurodivergence with no diagnosis or self-diagnosis of neurodivergence. We've made many comments on little things that we feel that we are, and I can safely say that for the three of us, all of them have been self-diagnosed.
I'm not even completely sure what neurodivergence is. Yeah, just keep saying I have it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, sure.
I'm sure once we bring it up what it is, you'll be like, oh, that. But I
Isn't
guess
it just that your brain chemistry is a little
know,
different?
See, pero like I'm like, that the special by Marcelo, and I told my mom I have neurodivergence, and she said, no, you don't. So I don't have it.
Actually, speaking of which, when you guys were talking about representation, how much it matters, seeing Marcelo's special, mind you, we've had so many Hispanic comedians, especially in the past, and they've been all great, and I feel like they have represented our community in such a great way. Having a young Latino comedian has been so amazing. I've loved Marcelo Hernandez since he first started coming out in SNL. Like I remember sending clips and like just loving his little skits.
His
but
skits with,
they're so
Pascal. Oh my
yes,
God,
they're so funny. And like then he got really popular with Domingo and stuff. But like this specific special that came out on Netflix was so good because while it is in a humorous way, he represented it so well. Like I feel like our generation's kind of upbringing as first generation people. And so it was just so good. So many bits that I was just like, oh, every time I was like, shit's eating up. But what I was gonna say, Noel. So kind of to answer your question of what is neurodivergence or what is being neurodivergent, is differing in mental or neurological function from what is usually considered typical or normal. Usually used with reference to being on the spectrum with different autistic disorders. So basically, we ain't braining the right way. JK, that's
essentially it. I mean, essentially,
I mean, to what typical people think, yeah. Do I think we just think a little different? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that though. But yeah, that's neurodivergence. One example I think we can give that Noel and I have said many a time that we have, I think what's helped or not helped, but what has caused us to self-diagnose, has been the exposure to people coming out and saying different kind of like symptoms or different processes that they have on TikTok and different social media, because I never really questioned much. I mean, I always kind of felt that sometimes school would be a little difficult, or like there were certain things that were a little harder on my day to day. And then once I started hearing and seeing more about ADHD, I was like, wait a minute. That sounded pretty accurate. And yeah, Noel, I know that you've also said that you feel like you're a little ADHD.
Yeah, I feel like I very much have ADHD. But mom said I didn't have ADHD, so I don't have ADHD.
Yeah, no, my mom also apparently like they once mentioned something like that. Like she doesn't remember what it was, but they mentioned something and she was like, that doesn't sound right. They're just trying to give her pills. Yeah, she's fine. But as I've gone to, because I generally think my mom also has ADHD. I think a lot of people in our family has ADHD.
We have something. We have something. Like finding out we have something is like knowing. There's a bit there. I'll come back to it. Moving on.
Okay. Okay.
I think like I'm for sure my mom has OCD. The way she be cleaning, like the way the house needs to look like, there's no signs of life. That's OCD. All right. People can't know that we brush our teeth She says we have to hide the toothpaste and the toothbrush. All right, we have
Yeah,
to put them away because there's guests coming. But I'm
yeah,
like, wait, they can't know we brush. No, they can't. No, I'm like, okay,
yeah.
we don't brush our teeth.
We also put away our toothbrushes when yeah. See, I've come to realize I'm not gonna diagnose the rest of the family, but my mom is very meticulous as to how certain things are placed, how certain things function in the household, and based on how Vane has explained certain things to me as to how her brain, marvelous and beautiful brain works, it very much resembles a lot of the characteristics that my mother has, and I do think that she's a little autistic, a little though, you know.
Are you telling me? You hear me talk and you'll be like, that sounded like Margarita.
Yeah.
Oh my god, maybe that's why I
Same
get
way
along
I've
so well.
the same way I be stealing the spoons for you, I have been stealing my whole life from my mother. Okay. A little clip though. Y'all made me into clip. Why do you think it's so easy, like so smooth for me when you're like, oh, I like that spoon, and then the spoon appears when we get to your
Oh my
place?
god, that was fucking hilarious. Yo, pause. Audience, we have to tell a story. We went to where did we go? We went to
The Korean spot, but not Korean barbecue. The
no,
spot
it was
with
just a Korean spot for
Yeah.
Just Korean restaurant, yeah.
yeah, we went to this Korean restaurant because Lana was going into hibernation. So we went to this restaurant.
It
We
was
had dinner.
before that. No, it was before
Yeah, it was
that.
the last meet. It was the last meeting.
Oh, okay.
And so during dinner, Lana was talking about how every time she comes here, she likes the spoons. That was at the
Yeah.
beginning of dinner. We had just gotten our food. About
That ass. I did not
45
ask
minutes
my
later, we're
Yeah.
outside
Mm-hmm.
talking, getting into our cars.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden, Nafi pulls out of her purse the spoon. I'm like, yo,
Yeah, that frozen.
when
Really,
did
wait,
you
baby.
take this spoon? Mind you,
That
we had
wasn't
all used the spoon.
That was so
that
funny.
wasn't the first time though.
It
That was
wasn't,
the
but the
No.
first
second
time, it happened was because it was all you can eat, and they cut us off like 15 or 20 minutes before the time was up, and we're like, we can order another round, and they're like, nope, you guys is almost out, so we're just gonna end it here. And
time.
and we're like, that's unfair, whatever. And I was talking about how like, oh, I'm pretty sure I kind of want to take the spoon with me. And Anthony was like, you know what? I got you, baby. They want to take our time. We'll take their spoon. And I'm like, go off. And so I didn't have a purse on me anyways, and Natty did. So Natty, that's why Natty put it in her purse that time. This time
Yeah,
I'm
because
like,
see, with
I
Nafi,
just went offhandedly. That's a nice spoon. I like this spoon. I'm gonna use this spoon to eat with.
My baby
And
is
then
picky about her
yeah.
spoons, okay? So if she like a spoon, she get a spoon, okay? It's a
bro,
restaurant. They have many spoons.
She just goes, "Oh, baby, here you go." By the way, and I'm like, "What you mean here you go?" And that's
the way everybody stopped and looked at her, and we're like, what?
That was so funny. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, she loves me." I felt so
Yeah.
loved. To be seen is to
You
be
need to
loved,
start
y'all.
telling her like you like random stuff at the restaurant. Like this salt shaker is so beautiful. Let's see what she can take. This vending machine so beautiful.
No,
No, I'm not gonna
I'm
abuse the power
smart.
like that.
No. Because
I
I
just
don't
want
be
to
doing
see
it.
what she take. You know?
No. I'm smart about it because I've been raised by my mother in the sense that she would be like, oh, I really want this, and then we would kind of take it. But it doesn't happen all the time. It just be certain things, right? And it's very specific things. So now I'm not saying that specifically means y'all autistic, because I'm pretty sure there's many autistic people out there that don't be stealing.
No, Vani's
But
autistic with her spoon, bro.
there's many a thing. Okay, well let's go back to self-diagnosing, and then we'll further into.
That's so funny because you haven't mentioned before that in me becoming more aware that I might potentially be autistic, you were comparing notes with your mama.
Yeah, it's helped, it helps, because I like to really understand the people around me. Like, so let's say like your love languages, how you
Yes.
think, what makes you comfortable and shit like that, because it will help me love you better, right?
Right.
And so in seeing similarities between you and my mama, I was like, wait a minute, it's easier because I'm also able to correlate it, right? So I'm like, oh, this be what my baby do, maybe this will help my mama, and so I'll start doing things that will help my mama, and then they do help, and I was like, they're the special kind of spicy.
Can you name a couple of those things?
I think it's just typical mannerisms. So like mannerisms, y'all a little specific in the kitchen. Like my mom got used to me not being like being the chaos that I am with my poor little ADHD ass. But yeah, like everything. I don't know if okay, I've heard you say certain times, at least because you room with Sandy, like, oh, this goes here. So I don't understand if you are taking it out or doing whatever, why not to put it back where it was? Like this is where it goes, put it back there. Yes,
Right.
I grew up with my mama doing that all the time. And sometimes I'd ask her, I'm like, why does it have to specifically go there though? Like it can go elsewhere. And she's like, but why? It goes there. Why are you questioning it? And I'm just like, and then I remember you mentioning something like that I think had happened with Sandra. And I was just like, okay. Interesting. And so it just made sense. I was like, okay.
I see. Okay.
But this good. There's nothing wrong with it.
No, of course not. This is just interesting to find out.
You know what's another
It's
thing
like
that
a
comes
cheat
to mind
sheet.
when we're asking if Vane is autistic? Not that we're asking if Vane is autistic, but when she says she's autistic, and I'm like, is she? And then I remember the bit with her food, where like if she orders food and how we all share, she must be the first one to touch the food that she's ordered, or else she just won't eat it at all.
Yes. She also
My plate,
doesn't
yeah.
like her food too touching in certain times.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I remember that happened one time when we got ice cream, and I think like Manny was holding her ice cream, but it was melting.
Oh, I remember this.
It was melting,
Yeah,
and so then he like took a bite so it wouldn't like overflow. Like he was trying to save it, and then he told you, and then you didn't want the ice cream. And I was like, oh,
you know, I try to rationalize it and I can't. And I'm like, no part of me wants this ice cream anymore.
Yeah, I remember that.
No, but it really was because like Manny really tried to hold off from eating the ice cream, and his whole hand was just covered in ice cream. And I remember this poor man just like, where's money? Where's money? Where's money? And then he took a bite, and I don't think he meant to, but he had to try to save it. And then he gave it to you, and then your face instantly, I was like, you know, I thought that was a bit this whole time. It was not a bit.
And I don't even remember. I don't even remember if it was that he told you he did it or you noticed that there was something.
No, it was. I was gonna. It's funny because it was literally right before I was taking a bite from it. He goes, "Oh, that flavor wasn't bad," and I'm like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Oh, you tried the flavor before?" He's like, "Oh no, like I took some of your ice cream because it was melting on me," and I go, "Of mine? Of this one right here?"
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah. And I go, "Oh, okay." And I try to carry on, and I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna eat this ice cream now."
No, you didn't.
And I no, I'm telling myself.
Her carrying on was like 4 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm that what?
That you trying to carry on lasted a whole 4 seconds, my sweet love.
It felt like forever in my head. I had so many conversations with myself in my head, and I'm looking at this ice cream, and I'm like, I physically can't. Because in my brain, I'm trying to rationalize. I was like, bro, I'm like, it's because he, you know, the rational part of my brain understands why. And I wasn't mad at Manny personally. I'm just looking at the ice cream, and I'm like, I don't want this ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah, because you didn't even like, you weren't even upset with him. You were just like, I just can't have this anymore. I'm curious. So kind of centering us back a little. Vane, for you, when did you start to self-diagnose? Or what made you realize that, okay, maybe potentially you were on the
because
spectrum?
even, I mean, I'll say it with you guys, but I'm not out there proclaiming myself to be autistic because again, there's no test being done here and shit. What do I actually know? But it started with one too many TikToks. I'll be like, oh, these are common like autistic behaviors, and I was like, that's not autistic. That makes common sense. And that happened one too many times. And then it was the friend that we have, Nathy. And she was like, guys, like I got tested, and you know what? Yeah, it's confirmed. But like no one, like she wasn't doubting herself. Like she was fairly confident that she was autistic. And then her diagnosis just confirmed it anyways. And then I asked her, I was like, oh, like what? How did they test you? And she was like, oh, like they gave me like this pre-test. And then based on that, they gave me like further. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And she's like, yeah, if you're interested, like here's like a link that they suggested online. And I took that test. And it didn't say I was without a doubt autistic. It just said there's a high likelihood that I am. And I'm like, all right, well, autistic. That what? I'm not.
Not autistic.
Exactly what the test said. And I was like, okay, well, we're gonna pocket that notion. And then yeah, from there I'm just seeing it all over the place now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, you know what? If that's the case, which I mean, I don't plan on getting a diagnosis because well into my adulthood, what's the point? I'm functioning, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But from that, I look back and I was like, you know what? These social behaviors that I have make all the sense in the world to me.
Yeah.
If you attribute
Yeah.
it to having a touch of autism. Like for one, my sister would always complain. I'm like, why can't you just understand how we feel? And I'm like, because your feelings are stupid.
You tell them
Uh,
that their feelings are stupid?
I used to, and then they'd be like, "That's not nice," and I'm like, "Okay, noted." So then I don't say it, but I would think it when I was younger, or I just be like, "I don't understand why they're mad."
That's cute. Um,
So I'm like, you know what? Little me, if I had this diagnosis, I'm like that makes sense.
got you, got you.
Sheldon
That's
Cooper over here.
What?
Sheldon Cooper over here.
Sheldon Cooper, she said.
Oh, that's a great, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
you
was.
you you'll be sounding like Sheldon Cooper because we'll be talking about something and then you get mad logistical. Oh man, I'm like, yo, you sound like Sheldon Cooper right now.
Yeah, I don't remember when it was, but it was sometime recent that Noel was like, no, Von is getting logistical on me, and I'm like, yeah, that be my baby. It
I
be my
mean,
baby.
if there's no reason, then why are we even like? What's the point?
Yeah, I was
It's
gonna
okay.
say,
I learned my lesson the hard way.
I
See,
was
it's
gonna
funny
say,
because
go ahead, Lovey.
when Noel ever tries to be sarcastic, sometimes it
Yeah,
doesn't land with me,
yeah,
and then I'm like, okay, I don't know if she's kidding or not, but it sounds like a statement. So I'm like, I'm just gonna take it and carry on, and then I don't give her the reaction she was expecting, and she's like, "Did you not get the joke?" And I'm like, "Oh, was that a joke? I thought you were being serious." She's like, "Why would I be serious?" And I'm like, "Well, I
No,
don't know.
no,
I
it'll
thought
be
that's just
something
how you
so
are."
absurd. No. It'll be something so absurd. It'll be like, man, I can't wait until
not
that little ice to
always.
start knocking on your door. And
No,
there'll be
it's
no
not
comment
that.
behind
It's
that.
not that crazy, Noel. Like some of them are, but like not really. Because again, I don't think I'm autistic. If I'm very honest. Um, but there's times where like she'll text me and she's like, "Was this on?" Not as much recently, but like I think towards the beginning of you guys talking more, she'd be like,
hmm
"Is this a joke?" And I'm like, I like to think it is, but I also don't know. But it won't be all the time like something that offhand. It'll be things that are ever so slightly offhand that it's like, she could have this opinion, but she could also not. So, yeah.
I have a good example, but I don't know if we can use it for the pod.
Well, you can give it and we can cut it if you want.
When I told when I made the joke the bit about with Vonnie, it's like, oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh, oh,
yeah, I'll just cut the
might
word
need to
out.
beep it. Yeah, might need to beep
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I'll bleep the word, but yeah, well, she doesn't know you. So there's people that just jokingly say it. So
And I'm like, again, in my mind, I'm like, ain't no way Noel using this as an actual slur, but I don't know how else you would use it, so I'm confused. So I was like, what do you mean you use it? And you're like, oh, I use it. And I'm like, okay, but how? Because from
Mm-hmm.
what I know of Noel to what you're telling me, they're not coinciding. So I need you to
mhm,
explain.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she
And
just
then you're
needed
like, I'm not
for
actually calling people. And I'm like, see, that's what I thought.
yeah.
Yeah. But then it becomes less funnier when we have to explain the bit.
Yeah, but you
Well,
also I don't know. I feel like so for one, Vonnie be overthinking it sometimes, and then two, I'm like, just a little extra explanation won't hurt. But also, I've been so used to always having to explain things to my mother, so I think that's why for me it's like it's fine. I don't mind explaining it. Yeah. I was gonna say, kind of going off of what we had initially thought. So with self-diagnosis, would you guys say it's helpful or harmful?
um, I want
We
to say
can speak
it's
personally and
both.
then we can speak in general. Okay, go off. Yeah, yeah.
I want to say it's both. I want to say it's like in some sense it might be helpful that it might give you answers to questions you were wondering, right? Like sometimes, like I was saying earlier, there's reasons why I couldn't understand people's emotions and shit. And this kind of gives me insight into that, and also how to better adjust. But at the same time, like, to some people, it just like not at all be helpful and like, oh great, so it might be a negative thing for them, or like just in general more another layer to themselves that they need to look into
Gotcha.
and reassess themselves.
I would say it depends on the person, right? Like it's very much a person to person case, because I know for me personally, it has helped, like you said, answer a lot of questions. It's also helped me understand how I learn things. And as well as specifically for work, it's helped so much because understanding how my distraction works and how I can help sometimes work through it, in the sense of like, okay, I know that if I have something that's occupying my mind, I am able to fully concentrate and work. Helps, because sometimes I do find myself so distracted. And again, for school, the most the repercussion would be is, okay, you miss a lesson, okay, you're not doing too well in certain things with school, but there is also always work that you can make up for it. When you're at an actual job, that can easily not, can be very, very bad. And so once I kind of understood where my mind was in general life stuff, it's helped. I feel in the case of people that maybe day-to-day things are a struggle, self-diagnosing might not be always the best path, because again, I'm functioning now and I don't feel like there's a lot of mental stress, and it's gotten down as time has gone on, and I've applied certain tactics that I've seen online and read up on. I also don't only just go off of videos I see at TikTok, right? Like I'll see a video,
right, and people should not.
Right, and then I'll go and do research, right? Like I'll be like, oh, that's interesting, and then I'll go read more on it, read more articles, read studies behind it to fully understand. And then from there, if I feel like it does apply and seeing things that might work, I try to apply and it kind of go from there. And that has also helped because with a lot of the conversations that I've had with my mom, kind of explaining to her why, oh, mom, why I think I have ADHD, why I think you have it, like in her case, why I think she does and how it may help. And it does help a lot. But I feel like for people that are maybe like feeling it a little on the stronger end, should definitely go and get tested, because a lot of the times, even though like the idea is like, man, I don't want to just go and have to take pills and stuff, the help helps you live a better life. Like I know someone personally in my own personal life that did go and get tested and do all that, and then once they started taking the meds, they were like, wow, like the mental peace that I have compared to where I was and how I'm able to go on with my life in a much easier way is crazy. Like the change has been just so had I not done it, it would have been detrimental to me at the end. So I'm like, it's helpful in that sense. I think where it gets harmful is that there's a lot of people that, I don't want to say to fit like the trend, do it, but like just kind of like to
that though.
Yeah, jump the bandwagon, do it. And then not only that, but people to excuse shitty behavior will also use it. Like, oh no, I'm just this or I'm just that. And it's like, no, you're a fucking asshole. That's all it is, bro. Like,
no, definitely. There's definitely people that like use it as a scapegoat, which is unfortunate for the other people that actually have it or have it worse.
Yeah. But yeah, Noel, have you found your somewhat self-diagnosed helpful?
I mean, on the general, it's just like whether or not it's helpful or not. I think mental health is a spectrum, right? Whether you have autism, ADHD, OCD, whatever, it's a spectrum. And everyone has something at some sort of part of the spectrum. Maybe you're on the low end, maybe you're on the high end, somewhere in the middle. I think everyone has something, right? I think if you're on the high end, I think it's going to be very obvious. You're gonna struggle tremendously in school and work, and at that point you'll get medical help and you'll get professional help. But I mean, like the self-diagnosis, I feel like there's no harm to it, especially if you're like low on the spectrum. Like if it's something that's really affecting your day-to-day struggle, you're gonna know. Like, you're gonna be like, okay, there is definitely a problem here. Like either if it's like autism, like, you're not being able to, or like with young kids, right? They're not able to socialize and they don't talk and they're like past the age where they
Yeah.
need to talk. I think if you're on the extreme end, it's gonna be pretty obvious that things are gonna get handled pretty quickly. Versus if you're somewhere low on the spectrum,
Mhm.
sure you'll have the be like, I think it's this, but yeah, I don't think you need to go to the extent of like getting pills and medication and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're someone who thinks you probably have something, you probably do. It probably won't affect your day-to-day life. You're not in an extreme case. 9 out of 10 people probably have fucking autism and they don't know it to some extent, and go on with your life.
Mm. But at the same time, like for someone like you said, like might be like low on whichever spectrum they may be on.
Mhm.
What?
Yeah, I really hear that novella. That's crazy.
Baby?
I'm sorry. Is there crazy noise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my door opened for a little bit. My bad. My bad. What did you guys hear?
There's a man with a deep bad voice talking, I'll tell you that.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, hello, who are you? But
My bad.
what was I saying? Right, for people that may be low or medium on the spectrum and are more on the higher functioning side, a self-diagnosis may be fine or whatever, may not affect them at all. But at the same time, they might be giving themselves a diagnosis that isn't completely off base, but they might just be rolling with it where it might not be actually accurate to themselves, and so they might misdiagnose. Or just
Yeah,
in
but it's
general,
like
they just.
the misdiagnosis is going to do you any harm. It's not like you're going out and taking medication.
Well, it depends on what you act. I mean, you obviously can't get your own medication either, but if you're integrating yourself in a community that you're not actually a part of, and then there's a disconnect there.
Well, then you obviously will learn it pretty quick, no? If you think you're
I
very
mean,
high on the edges of the
some people
spectrum.
really talk themselves into like, oh, it must be this. I definitely have this, and then
Yeah.
they look at the symptoms like, oh, these are the symptoms, and be like, you know what? Yeah, I have that. Oh, yeah, that. And then they might not have it for this reason, or they just might be talking themselves into having these symptoms.
Yeah.
And then again,
And they
complete
probably have some
misdiagnosis, completely
sort of
inaccurate.
other mental health issue that they're not aware of.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like they diagnose themselves with this, so they're running with it. And now this is just all that's in their head, and like, oh no, it's all equated to this, and it's just in the end of the day a misdiagnosis that they give themselves, and then because they're like, oh, I'm confident in what I researched and I'm aware of what this diagnosis is, I'm gonna stick with it,
Yeah.
and then like not actually get an accurate diagnosis.
But okay, but then them self-diagnosing themselves to say they have like, I don't know, bipolar disorder. Or where's the harm? Like I obviously nobody, not that nobody wants to be bipolar or whatever, but I mean, okay, now they're saying they're bipolar and they have all these symptoms.
Well, because let's say it's kind of like spreading misinformation, if you may, right? It's more looking at it on the grander scale. So if a bunch of people that maybe are incorrectly self-diagnosing are out there saying, oh, I have this, I have that, and then people around them that don't know any better, which again, it's on everyone to educate themselves, but you also have to think of the grander scale of things, like the bigger scale of stuff. And so if they're saying, oh, I have this, this, and this, so then they relate this person's characteristics with whatever they're self-diagnosing on, right? Let's just say, for example, autism. Like they're saying, oh, I'm autistic. And so everyone else is kind of hearing this. And then they meet someone who's actually autistic, who actually has it's also like there's so many different characteristics to it. But let's say in this specific case, this person, say, oh, I have this, and this, and they're like, oh, but you're not autistic. And it's like, yes, I am. It's like, well, no, I know so and whatever. And so that's just one case. But if that starts to happen with all the different people, then you're spreading kind of like, in a way, it's like you're creating a stereotype that isn't true to form. So while no, there's no harm, but there's also no harm in you actually going and finding out what you are, right? Like you're helping more by like understanding more than you are by just kind of like whatevering it. Like, okay, who cares though? Like, at least that's the way I see it. Like, when you look
Well,
at
I
the
mean,
grand scale of things.
if someone tells me they have like ADHD or autism, I'm like, my follow up question is like, oh, cool, okay. And then if I'm really that curious about it, I'm like, oh, you got tested for it, or like whatever, or like you take medication for it. That's usually one of the questions I ask. If they go, oh no, I never got tested for it, then again in my brain, I'm like, oh, you're just making the assumption you have this. You don't actually know if
Right,
you do,
right.
so
But
you could
that's
just be
also
completely wrong. So, but
right. But that's you though. How many people actually go out and like there's a lot of people that do care and do question, but then there's also a lot of people that just go by hearsay. Like, okay, yeah, sure. Like I trust what you're saying, so I'm gonna believe it.
Yeah, on the
And
on
more
like
often
this
than
on
not,
the
that's
on the
usually the
best
case.
case of someone self-diagnosis and they could be wrong. They just might be looking to research that is just completely unrelated to them. No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
On the worst
Yeah.
case scenario, they're out there speaking for a group that they don't know the best on, even with their best intention research, and then putting themselves as a spokesperson for again the wrong group.
Yeah, because it'd be the same, like, let's say for us ourselves that self-diagnose, right? And we just try to use it to work in helping ourselves kind of like help our day-to-day lives, right? But if let's say, for example, as a dancer or even in the podcast, we start to gain more follows, gain more whatever, I would purposely explain like, oh, when I say I have ADHD, this is just based on my own little research that I've done and whatever. This by no means that I am the representation of it. Like, right? I would clarify that because one, like I've said, my day-to-day life is fine with the small self-diagnosis I've had and the bit of help that I've things that have helped me. But I wouldn't want someone, let's say we have a younger viewer that hears this, automatically like relates to certain things and then kind of like, oh, it's whatever, I'll self-diagnose, or like just don't fully understand. And maybe there's more to them that if they were to do more research, it can help them more than if they just base it off one little thing. Like maybe they do have ADHD, but maybe there's more to it. And if they do more research, it would help them more than just whatever little tips and tricks that I've done,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, in that case, mental health is a spectrum, right? Like, oh, we have the same pattern. We probably have the same thing. It's not at a extremeness that it's affecting your day to day. It's more like, oh, I hear it. Oh, you have that. I have that. Oh, maybe I have that. Oh, okay, cool. Like, I don't think people are going into that much depth. Like, oh my God, I have this, and I need to go and now focus and
But
take
some people
practice and
do
skills.
though.
Yeah, you're giving people a
Like you're
huge
naming the
benefit of
best
the doubt.
case. Yeah, you're naming the best case. Again, there are worst case where people, like we said earlier, will use it as a crutch or as a scapegoat, and then giving the rep to that community the worst name ever.
Yeah,
And
but
again,
then
on
you're
at the end
going
of the day,
beyond
it
like
might be a mistake.
beyond mental health, right? Like you can do the same thing with like, oh, ethnic and cultural backgrounds. Like, oh, like Mexicans have to don't celebrate the 4th of July. They only celebrate on this day. And you find your 1/16th Mexican, and you're like, I can't celebrate on the Cinco de Mayo anymore. It's like, come on, like
Right. But I don't know. At least I try to work on the function. Like you can't assume, or at least it depends on the impact you're making, right? Like me, myself, and I saying it don't matter. Like who's it gonna hurt? Y'all? No, we talk about the same shit all the time. Like it's gonna be fine. But if it's on a grander scale, it is things that people should take in perspective. That not every time is there gonna be someone that's gonna think critically, because the majority of the time people don't. True. That's a fact. We're seeing, especially with the world that we're living in currently, that there's a lot of people that lack a lot of common sense and a lot of
so common.
Yeah, no, not at all. So that's kind of
and people also just love like to do the reasoning and all those extra things. But again, just in the case of you're naming best scenario, there's definitely a worse scenario, and it's just, is it always going to be a good thing to self-diagnose? I mean, there's definitely moments where it's a positive to self-diagnose, in the examples of maybe Nathy or maybe I or you, where it's just helped us to better understand some aspects of our personalities and how to better adjust ourselves. And we're not taking anything further than our own personal lives.
No.
But there is a worst case where some people may take it too far, and it just speaks bad on the group itself. And then, again, this is all just coming straight out of their ass.
Yeah. I was gonna say, kind of going back to like the more positive outlook as to self-diagnosing and why it's important.
Mm-hmm.
I think something that has come up a bit more, or at least has become more prevalent to me, is sometimes it's very like mental health is very taboo in certain cultures, right? Kind of
Mm-hmm.
speaking on like um Marcelo Hernandez's jokes, like his constant joke is like, "Oh, my mom told me I don't have it, so I don't have it." But he
Yes.
himself admits, like, "Damn, maybe if I was on the pills or maybe whatever, I would have progressed in certain ways." Um, hold on, pause.
A few moments later.
I was gonna say, yeah. So you know, he makes the jokes that it's in some ways, while he does wish that he had been diagnosed or blah blah blah, that at the same time the way that his family kind of brought him up has helped him be a better person, right? And all that. And I think that's all great and dandy.
Oh, Marcelo?
But
Mhm.
yeah, Marcelo.
Yeah.
But I feel like it brings an important light because something that I've seen a lot, specifically with ADHD, right? Is that a lot of women, right? Because women usually go undiagnosed because or the way that is comes up in men or boys versus girls is very different. That a lot of the time for people that have it a little more severely and don't really go kind of go undiagnosed in most of their lives, they reach a lot of mental stress by the end, like towards the end of the last few years, or let's say like towards their older age, because they've been carrying that mental load, and it becomes very hard to deal with, and then that kind of does lead to a lot of like the mental illnesses that you see related to older people, such as like Parkinson's, dementia, Alzheimer's, and things like that, right? There's so many things that factor into that. It's not just that, but it definitely is something that plays into it.
Okay.
And I've specifically seen that a lot with my mama, where being that I've seen, like now that I understand a little bit more what like being on the spectrum is and how I generally do think that she is, sometimes like we've had many conversations, she's had a bit of, if you may, like mental breakdowns where she's like,
Yes.
I don't understand why, but I just feel so exhausted. I don't know how else to feel, and this is how this is where I am mentally, right? And it's just become an overstimulation, right? And it's been an accumulation of so many years of trying to kind of self work it out because you don't know how else to do it. But it gets to a point where she's just exhausted, right? And so I'll come and I'll like explain to her, I'm like, well, we can do this. Maybe this will help you to relieve some of that stress and whatever. And it has helped, but it's also kind of disheartening because it's like, well, because she lived in a generation where mental health wasn't even a thought.
Yeah.
She's now dealing with the kind of like the aftermath of that if you kind of address certain things at an earlier age, like it kind of takes away the taboo from it. You address it. Don't, rely on all the things that are, going on, like, oh, take these meds, take this or take that. But at least having a good understanding will help alleviate that so that when we get to our old age, we're not, having those tough moments and we don't understand why.
You know
And
what it
so,
sounds like?
what?
It just sounds like we all should have been in therapy a long time ago.
Yeah, therapy and a lot of other stuff, but therapy itself has always been like a negative thing. Like,
True.
again, in certain cultures, like I know my like nowadays my mom sometimes she's like, damn, I really need therapy, and I'm like, yeah, we all do. Mind you, years ago that wouldn't have even been a thought. Like, it's like, oh damn, so you're not loca, like I'm so fucking crazy, I need therapy. It's like, no, that's not what we're saying at all. So yeah, I feel like sometimes the fact that their self-diagnosis is more common nowadays, hopefully will have more of a positive effect on our generation, or even our not our parents in the sense of Vana and I's parents, but maybe like your parents, Noel, right? Like the generation right before us, to be more aware, kind of work towards having a healthier mental health, that once we're older, we're not old and senile and confused, or at least a little less.
I think another thing with the older generation is just like, if it's worked so long, like, don't break what work. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right. So
Right.
they're gonna stay
Yeah,
where they are
that's their motto.
without having to work on certain things, or they don't see it as broken or a flaw. So
Yeah.
they're like, well, why would I fix the thing? And I'm like, your logic is logic, and you're not wrong.
I don't know. I feel like I've been more on the side of seeing how, oh, but if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I'm like, I don't think you realize that it's about a break, fam. Like, it's hanging on a thread right now. Just because you don't see it don't mean it's not broken, bro. Just look at it at another angle. You're gonna see how broken it is. Like,
Yeah.
that's at least where I'm at. Cause I'm like, I understand. You don't gotta fix something that ain't broken, but at the same time, there's always room for improvement. You know?
But I think that also comes into we have so much more exposure to things now and more research
Yeah.
on it. Like before, like for the example of autism, you wouldn't even think to be concerned for autism unless you were high on the spectrum where you were not functioning so well or
Yeah.
low functioning in general. Where like now it's considered like, oh no, you can have autism. You're just on like the high functioning side.
Yeah.
And that's part is again more research being done, but then people also being exposed to like these are possibilities. Part of that's also
That is
social
true.
media.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
There's always, I feel like with
Unfortunately and
anything, there's always
unfortunately.
going to be I was going to say, with anything, there's always going to be
Mhm.
the good and bad side of it.
For sure.
But yeah. Do you guys have any other thoughts, or whatever comments on neurodivergence? At least for now, because I feel like we can always go into it more. But at least for now.
I don't think so. I just want to make it clear that we are all only here self-diagnosed and don't actually preach any official shit.
Yeah. If and when we
Yeah,
get
like our whole conversation right now, take it as a grain of salt because none of this can be
The
accurate.
biggest. Correct.
Yeah. Actually, that goes with every episode we have ever had. We are not professionals.
Honestly, yeah,
in
we should
anything
put
we've
this.
ever talked about. And like, I'm queer. Ron is queer. Nothing
Yeah.
is nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing is nothing. We are not representation for any sort of
Yeah, no,
ethnic
nah,
group, queer group, nothing. We are who we are.
nah.
I
We
The
should
am
put
only
disclaimer.
thing that you should not take with a grain of salt is our opinion on food, our opinion on who would we get with based on cartoon. No, that shit is factual. Okay, you at least personally, you could take everything I've said in food videos. Don't take it with a grain of salt. Take the whole bucket of salt. Okay. Take the salt brick.
Take the ocean. You take the whole ocean with it.
Go to the salt mines. You see that salt mine? That's on me. They're no business, at least personally.
Yeah. But no,
a
we don't
business
speak
that
for
she
any
stands on.
jokes
No
aside.
business.
Yeah, no, jokes aside. Take our shit with a grain of salt.
And again,
Sure. We're
no,
no
we don't
experts
speak
here.
for any group specific. Like, we don't even speak for Hispanics. Like, this, we're speaking for ourselves in every conversation we've ever had.
Yeah,
Because
we're speaking for
reasons
us
are not
three.
the same for other Hispanics. Maybe it's generalized. Maybe that may not be and have the same. But Vani has a completely Vani does have a completely different experience in Hispanic culture than we do. And the same thing with queer culture. I mean,
Yeah.
Vani didn't know till she was like 20 something. I knew at like 15. Like, it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, as you guys like to say, natty. So
Nothing. So,
Nappy.
I will say the one thing we all can agree, and you can take the whole bucket of salt, as Nathi has said. Our political opinions, that everything
Oh,
we
yeah.
said, 100%.
Yep.
Fuck ice. Don't give a fuck. And food. That's about it.
Yeah, food, and not these cartoon opinions too.
Yeah.
And music.
You know, the little red bird that she could hold in our palm.
The what?
The little red bird from Rio.
Oh yeah, him. And then Carlos. Yeah, Carlos. And then what's it called?
No, we have a giraffe.
Yeah.
Don't forget
Yeah.
your sickly giraffe.
What are you guys talking about right now?
R.I.P. Robin Williams.
Robin Williams?
Yeah. If you don't know what that means, you need to go back and watch our third episode, which I think we've all agreed is
That was only 3.
yeah, that was the third one in, bro.
Episode 3. That was such
We-
a good episode.
That was so great. We need to do something like that again. Anyway, if you liked this content, or if you liked our silly goosey content, or any other content, please check us out. We release episodes every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Spotify, on YouTube, on iHeartRadio, on any kind of platform where you can listen to podcasts. We are most likely there. All right. Please comment. Noel, do you have anything that you want them to comment on?
What's your self-diagnosis that you think you have?
Yeah.
Or if you have an actual diagnosis, I would love to hear about it.
Yeah, and if you think that we're on some stupid shit and you actually think we're something else, enlighten us. I won't take
Oh my
it.
God,
I will
yes.
also take that with a grain of salt, but I would happily if someone's like, I actually
Oh,
think
yeah.
you're this. But be nice
Yeah.
about it. At least to me. I'm not a little sensitive, I'm a lot of sensitive.
Yeah,
I may be a Capricorn. I may be a Capricorn, but she a little softy, okay? But yeah, so comment on that self-diagnosis or if anything related, comment below. And
Or if you think you're a normie.
huh?
Or if you think you're a normie, but this day and age,
Hot take, I don't
No,
think I'm a
don't
normie.
offend me such a way. I don't want to be normal. Normal's overrated. No, JK. What's it
Carry
called?
on.
Yeah, so leave a comment. Also, message us, comment, or anything like that if you want to be on the episode. As long as the 3 of us agree, you are more than welcome. Please check out our outside content, like our social media content. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram at 1.2 brain cells _ official. And yeah, toodle loodle,
Toodaloo.
hugs and kisses.
Not for me.
Bye.
Peace out, brain cells.